Before we begin, you have a child together. And based upon what I've read, this case involves dispute over the child. It indicates in your papers that there was to be a final custody determination yesterday.
That's correct, but
Did that happen?
no, it did not.
Why?
He's not willing to negotiate.
Where is the child currently living?
Monday through Friday morning, she's with me. Friday through Monday morning, she's with him.
And you're satisfied with that?
Yes, and that's what I asked
Just a second,
for.
you're satisfied with that. Are you satisfied with that?
I am.
Well, then, I don't understand what...
Your Honor, he wouldn't agree to that yesterday. The judge gave him that. He said no.
All right, well, maybe you have to be a little more articulate with the judge. Anyway, I'm going to get into this. There was a time, Miss White, that you had custody of not only this child, who was 2,
Yes, ma'am.
but an older child.
That's right.
And your older child is 8?
Yes.
There came a time, according to you, she said, I had to deal with a situation, this is you, involving my 8-year-old daughter. Now, I have to assume, being an old family court judge, that that situation had to do with an allegation of either neglect or abuse. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And that matter has been resolved?
Yes, ma'am. I have the documentation.
Okay, but there was a complaint made against you.
Yes.
And it was not a complaint made by the defendant.
No, it was not.
And that complaint was made in what month?
February
February what?
18th.
Of this year.
Yes.
And that case went to court.
Oh, well, it was investigated.
It was investigated, and it was being investigated to go to court. Were you advised that they might be removing the 2-year-old from your custody?
No.
Pending the investigation?
No.
Then why was it in February that you asked Mr. Jones to take physical custody of your daughter?
I wanted to be able to handle that situation with my daughter and have my full self into it, and I reached out to my 2-year-old father to get her for a couple days while I took care of that situation.
And did you explain why to him?
Yes, I did.
Did that allegation of either abuse or neglect have to do with you personally or with someone else?
Someone else.
A male?
A male, yes, ma'am.
A male friend of yours?
Yes.
All coming together. So there was an allegation made that a male friend of yours was somehow abusing your 8-year-old.
Yes, ma'am.
I put it together, it's not here. And were you at the time living with that male?
No.
He was just a boyfriend?
Not even a boyfriend.
A friend?
Yes.
And I assume that the complaint was made through the school?
Yes, ma'am.
So your daughter reported it to the school?
Yes, she did.
And that's why you took physical custody of your 2-year-old?
Yes, she was not allowed to be around kids per the order for her 8-year-old. And when she went to pick her 8-year-old up and found out about the abuse, she didn't even have the 2-year-old examined.
Listen to me.
Okay.
I got the case. This is what you are alleging, Miss White. After Mr. Jones took physical custody of his daughter, for very good reason, whether you gave him custody or not, physical custody for a few days, as a father, until the allegation was ultimately resolved, he didn't want to return his daughter to you. That's what your complaint is. And what your complaint is that when you tried to get her back, he assaulted you and filed a false allegation for an order of protection against you, costing you attorney's fees.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. February 18th was when you turned over custody to him, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And when did you try to get her back?
2 days later, February 20th.
When did the Child Protective Services team finally resolve the issue of your older daughter?
February 24th.
Then you were 4 days too early.